Hello and welcome back to the On the Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Why we do this on a Friday night? My guest here might actually get this reference. Do you know why we do this on a Friday night?
Is it something to do with Friday the 13th? No, I don't know. What?
No, well, Friday night's Horror Night, but do you remember Channel 4 putting out the Friday Night Horror Night at 10 o'clock just after the
Oh,
watershed
yeah,
broke?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
so this is our little tribute to that. So the slogan goes, "Why do we do this on a Friday night? Because Friday night's Horror Night." It was so good we got it on a t-shirt. Yeah, but we put this out at 10 o'clock on a Friday to just as a little tribute to that because we always got the good ones out of that.
Lovely. They need to bring that back.
We don't. I don't know if we do need to. Like Sky have all Sky Horror, and it's just so widely available now with streaming.
Mm. True,
Um,
yeah. I'd hardly ever watch regular TV these days, which is a bit sad, I guess.
the only regular TV I watch now is sport, live sport.
Mm.
That's it.
Although, you know what I tend to do is sometimes I'll stick the telly on when I'm in bed and a classic film will just be on. And it's a very different experience when a film's just on and you can't pause it or turn it off and there's advert breaks and stuff. I don't know, it just seems to suck me in more, I think, when it's just on the TV.
Ironically, not horror, but I did watch a film on live TV the other night. I watched Jason and the Argonauts from
Oh,
1963.
nice. Ray
Yeah,
Harryhausen. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
classic.
Oh, it's so good. I remember
Mm.
watching it. I used to have it on VHS when I was growing up with a gold case and all on it, and the golden
Nice.
fleece. Oh, so good, so good. And I was
Yeah.
just sitting there. I was like, I need to go to bed, but I also need to finish this.
Yeah, I know the feeling. And also that those films, like you could look at them through the lens of, oh, the effects are kind of chonky compared to these days. But for some reason, that stop motion just it makes it otherworldly, doesn't it? It's something else. It's something you don't see anymore done like that. It's just brilliant.
It's perfect. Right. Well, that was a deviation off the
Yes.
intro. I didn't even get to introduce you.
Oh,
As you can
okay.
see, folks, this isn't Carl. This isn't Ted. This isn't Ian. This is writer and director, Mr. Jim Eaves. How are you?
I am good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for reaching out to us. I appreciated the opportunity to watch your movie, The Apocalypse Box, which we'll jump a bit into as well in this conversation. But just to make you aware, this conversation goes all over the shop, as seen right there.
Yeah, yeah, sounds
Most of the
good.
time, mostly it's all about horror, but I will give props, and King and Ian and Ted will all agree with me that little collection over your shoulder there is top drawer. Uh, Big Marvel fans here. Well, I
Good,
am
good.
up until Endgame. I was the newer stuff, not so much.
So how are you feeling about Captain America, the new one?
Um, I mean, it can't go any worse. I mean, I didn't like Wyatt Russell as Captain America.
Yeah,
So
US
I mean,
agent. Yeah,
it can't go worse than that.
yeah. I'm in a bit of a zone where I'm really praying this is the one that turns it around. You know what I mean? This is the beginning of something new, but I do worry. I just worry, and I wasn't. What did you think of the Fantastic Four trailer?
No, not for me.
No, I know, and I didn't get excited. I didn't get any kind of. It just felt a bit flat, didn't it?
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
But that might be for a different conversation. But I just
Yes.
wanted, I just wanted to throw the little figurines out there. They look awesome,
Thank
especially
you.
that Loki up on the top shelf.
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome. Yeah, he's got all the gear.
Um, but as I said, you sent me a movie to watch. Your latest one. It's called The Apocalypse Box. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and how you got started and where this idea came from?
Yeah, sure. So, I've been doing this about 20 years. I left uni in 98 and back then it was everything was shot on film and I could have got a job sweeping the floor at the television studio, but I got a postgraduate loan and made my first feature film and I've just done that every kind of couple of years. They've all been horror. I've had all sorts over the years. The first one had Uri Geller in it, the guy who bends the spoons. Over the years, I've worked with the last one before this one had Colin Baker in it, called You Might Get Lost. Stephanie Beacham was in one called The Witch's Hammer, which we're hoping to re-release soon, which is like a vampire action film.
I'm all
Uh,
in. I do love vampires now.
You do, yeah, me too. I love a bit of vampire
I'm a
action.
big creature feature fan now. I'd be a huge animal creature feature fan, but I do love an vampire movie.
Yes, yeah, yeah, me too. And it was around the time we made it just before Underworld came out. So
What's that?
unfortunately,
Oh, three.
yeah, 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 yeah. So unfortunately, everyone thought ours was like a sort of low budget Underworld copy, but it sort of just unfortunately came out at the same sort of time. Um,
I wasn't huge on Underworld.
yeah, it was. It looked nice, but it
Kate
was.
Beckinsale made it look nice.
Yes, yes, she did, and yeah, the idea is really good. I think the vampires versus werewolves thing. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so I did enjoy that movie. But the one that you've just watched is called The Apocalypse Box, and it's a horror movie set on election night. Cross section of society are gathered together to try a magical box that grants wishes, and as with a lot of this particular sort of subgenre of horror, none of those wishes go to plan.
it's very. I said to you off screen, like it's not my ideal kind of horror subgenre,
Hmm.
despite the fact that I absolutely love the Wishmaster.
Yeah, I like
And
Wishmaster.
I do believe I love the Wishmaster because I seen it when I was younger
Hmm.
and whatnot. Now I had the pleasure of interviewing Peter Atkins a while back, who screen wrote that one
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
with Robert Kurtzner. But I just have a love for that movie. I'm not even sure why, because
Mm.
I know it doesn't hold up quite well in terms of people now watching it, and I'm like, but it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think it's almost like one of those movies with, like a Jason or a Michael Myers sort of thing, because it is an iconic character. And Michael Davidoff, is that his name? Davidoff?
Yeah,
He does
um,
like,
he was brilliant.
yeah, he does like a thing, doesn't he, when he's the wishes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he done something special, and yeah, we used to love that film when I was at uni. It was
And Andrew Divoff.
Divoff, that's it,
If
Andrew. Yeah, 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 yeah.
if I'm pronouncing that wrong and he's listening in, I'm sorry, but I
I'm
might or
sure
may
he
not have
won't
butchered
mind.
that. But it was one of the first ones that brought the four big or the three big horror characters at the time around. It had obviously Robert Englund, it
Hmm.
had Kane Hodder, it had Tony Todd,
Hmm.
it actually had Sam Raimi. No, Ted Raimi. Sorry, Ted Raimi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it had a whole lot of horror character and power in it. But
Mm.
I just love it. I watch them once a year probably.
Oh, really? I don't think I've seen. How many are there now? How many Wishmasters? Like three or four?
I watched the three. I didn't know if there was a fourth one.
Yeah,
There's
I think they made another.
Wishmaster,
Maybe they made another one.
Wishmaster 2, and then Beyond Hell or Hell's Gates or
Mm.
something. If
Mm.
there's another one, I've never seen it.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. But I found this movie along those lines. Obviously, the wishes can go wrong.
Yeah,
Um, the box, I liked the concept of the box.
yeah.
The keys, if you get it wrong, it causes an issue. Obviously, we've seen a few movies recently coming out along the lines of the apocalypse. Obviously, Knock at the Cabin was one.
Hmm.
Um, there was another one I watched last year as well that was similar to that, where the apocalypse is coming if stuff isn't done. Um, and I like the design of the box with all the keyholes because that'd drive me fucking mental not knowing which one goes where.
Yes, yes.
Um,
The challenge with that is for the cast is remembering which one they put the key in because in the take. So they do it, and then it's like, oh God, which one did you just put that in? Because we've got to reset and do it again, and we've got to do it from a different angle. So they all on the we did a little ceremony actually with we've got a whole tray of keys, and each cast member got to pick the key that they thought sort of felt right for them and their character. And then with the keyholes, we were a little bit more prescriptive because of where the camera was.
I get that. I get that. Obviously, I don't want to go too much into spoilers because I don't want to give um too much away with it
Mm.
being a relatively new release as well. Um, Spoiler alert though, there it is a horror film. People do die. Shit gets real.
Yep.
Um, but it starts off in a weird way with obviously the photo shoot, the the first lady.
Yep.
I'm not huge into politics, so I was kind of lost at the start of that when they were talking about these things. I was like, I have no clue what's going on here. Not a fucking notion.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that if you start talking about politics, I'm like, gone.
Yeah. That was a big challenge, which I hope we've achieved. But like you say, some people maybe it's not quite they're getting that level of it. But it's trying to bring you into that world, into those characters, and not make the politics too big a deal. But also, it is kind of the backbone of the film. So yeah, it was a challenge to balance that out. And with Corinne, who plays the First Lady, who I think is awesome as an actress.
She was brilliant, Jack.
Yeah, yeah, she's so good. She's doing something really difficult in that film because she's kind of trying to make the audience like someone who's not very likable and that the other characters don't really like. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like connecting us with that person.
I found that now. I found she genuinely looked awkward
Mm,
in some parts, and like obviously her being awkward and messing up costs him um votes or
yeah.
numbers or whatever you want to call them.
Hmm.
But I thought she played the part brilliantly. Now he played the part quite well of the smug, arrogant. I need this. I need you to do this for me.
Yeah, yeah. Tom. So that's her real life husband, Tom Butcher. So they
Oh,
were yeah, yeah, yeah. So they both of them were in BBC's Doctors as the two lead actors for like 4 or 5 years on BBC. So they're used to playing opposite each other, and it's fun to see them on screen together in those roles. They're not like that in real life. He's not horrible like that in real life. But yeah, it's interesting seeing their dynamic change when they're acting.
I mean, like I would have bought that he was like that. That's a good
He's
sign.
not. He's not. He's a good actor. He's a good actor.
Um, I actually used to watch that show when I was in college, but that was well, I mean, that was 15 years ago now, so it probably
Yeah.
weren't on then. I think I watched it anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
I did as well, and I had to look back at it when I started working with Corinne because she's in my previous film. I had to look back at it and go, "Oh my God!" Because she was also in Emmerdale. She did a year on Emmerdale as well.
yeah, I
Um,
definitely didn't watch that anyway.
yes, I'm not into my soaps, but
No.
yeah, Doctors. I definitely saw it when she was on it.
Um, but the premise kind of takes a swing quite quickly now. The one thing I will say is the aspect of getting the 8 people, 7 people there.
Hmm.
I was like, once once the link happened between the two, I don't want to say too much, but once that happened, I was like, oh, okay, that's where this is going.
Yeah.
And it was a nice little swing to it. I,
Mm.
I, I was like, yeah, and then I was like, and then obviously as it develops more, I was like, okay, all right. As I said, for me, these kind of films, I kind of drift in and out,
Mm.
um, especially if, like as I said, like to you off screen, I'm not knocking the film in any way. It doesn't hold me too well.
Mm.
And people on the show know that I'm quite honest. So when I don't like a film, I'll tell you. I'll
Yeah.
always give you the good parts. It's not that I don't like this film. It's just that type of film doesn't really attract me.
Yeah. No, I can appreciate that. And there's certain types of, and I understand completely because there's certain types of horror people love that I am just not engaged with. So I'm not a big
Torture porn,
fan. Say again?
torture porn.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of torture porn. And I'm genuine, and I say this without spoiling, knowing that my films don't normally have a very happy ending. I'm not a big fan of films where you watch it and you come out and you feel shit. So you watch a film, something like Wolf Creek. I didn't get on with that because I watched it and just felt
What a movie!
terrible afterwards. I just thought,
What a
why have I
movie!
watched that? That's just made me feel like dog shit. So that kind of thing, and then you can't even tell that going into a film these days if it's going to make you feel terrible. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of films that make me feel worse than when
Oh, you're one of them people that need the happy ending.
I need. Well, not in the stuff I
No,
make, but
no, no
yeah.
joke intended with that one.
No, yeah, no, I do. I don't need no, I don't need a happy ending, but to. I need to. There needs to be some glimmer of hope somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
See, I I would always say that as well, but I kind of do sometimes get sick of seeing the usual, the final girl making it out and
Mm,
beating this unbeatable force,
yeah,
or the creature getting killed in the end.
yeah. But then
I'm just
there's
like,
there's ways of doing it where it's positive, but it's got a bit of a twist. So like classic, like the thing, you he sort of Kurt Russell, they sort of win, but you still kind of don't know if they have won. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing.
funny you bring that movie up. This is a question I asked in the last two interviews I've done.
Mm.
In that movie, who do you think survived? Obviously, neither of them survived because they're stuck where they're stuck.
Yeah,
But which
yeah.
one is the thing?
It can't be Kurt Russell, can it? It can't be.
I have my opinion, and I'll tell you
Go on
mine
then,
now in
what's
a minute.
yours?
But I want to hear yours.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where we leave them, but I just can't believe that we'd spend a whole film with someone and then be the alien.
Well, obviously he can't. Well, Kurt Russell, if he is the alien, theoretically, he's
Mm.
contracted it somewhere near the end
Yeah,
because we've seen it in other ones.
yeah.
I personally still think I went on the easy one that it was that it's Keith David
Mm. Mm.
because obviously you get the theory of the breath.
Yeah,
One goes up, one doesn't, signaling that it's a cold blooded breath
yeah,
theoretically.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I also love the fan theory that when he hands him the bottle to
Mm-hmm.
drink,
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's
that
put something in that.
he's put petrol into it,
Right, right,
and
right.
when he drinks it, obviously he can't tell the difference.
Yeah, so he'll
So
know
that's
that
when
it's.
Kurt Russell starts laughing. He knows then,
Yeah, oh, that's cool. I hadn't heard that one. Yeah, yeah.
and then of course you get John Carpenter being an absolute dickhead and being like, "Oh, I'm going to make another one." No, I'm not going to make another one. Who survived?
Yeah. What, out of interest, what did you think of was it a prequel? The one that
Yeah.
came. Yeah, what do you think of that?
So ironically, in the last interview I done, this question came up. I went to see that in the cinema, and
Mm,
for 55, 60 minutes, I was going mental in the cinema. I was like, why would they fucking bother? They've made a balls of this stupid movie. And then it gets to the scene when he puts the axe in the wall. And
yeah.
I was like, oh shit. I was like, it's a prequel. Now, maybe I was just that angry when I was watching it. I couldn't grasp that it was, and there might have been other bits in it
Yeah.
that should have tripped me off. But when that happened, I was like, oh shit. And then I went and watched the original one after it. And I was like, my God, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it made you like it more because it was connected to the
Yeah.
original film rather
But
than just being
it
its
didn't
own thing.
happen until like that scene when he puts the axe in the wall. I
Yeah.
was like, and then obviously the end of it with the dog and the
Mm,
plane. I was like, oh, the helicopter. I was like, shit.
yeah. And it's funny, isn't it? Because I feel like if that came out now, it would that you'd know it was a prequel in the trailer. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It would
it
be
was the
they'd
way it was
spoil it.
done. It was the way it was
Yeah.
built.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or sorry, not the way it was built. The way it was designed to come out.
Mm,
I thought it was brilliant.
yeah.
Brilliant marketing to just call it the thing. Now, me personally, I think the thing is probably not the right name for it
Mm,
because obviously the other one's called the thing,
yeah. Yeah.
but it made it look like a remake because of it.
Yeah, yeah, it did fool you.
Yeah.
And I tell you, the other one that I liked, actually, you might disagree on this. I like the Evil Dead remake, the new one. I thought it was pretty good.
2013
Yeah,
with Fede Alves one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I loved it. It's better than the original,
Oh yeah,
but
well yeah, better than the
but
original. I don't know about Evil Dead 2, but
it's better than any of them. Um, but it's not a remake or a reboot.
how would you define it then?
So it's part of the story. So I don't know whether you watched Ash versus the Evil Dead, did you?
I didn't get through it all, no.
No. So in that they actually turn around and say that there's three Necronomicon books.
Ah, right, okay.
So obviously Bruce Campbell's one had
Mm-hmm.
one. Mia's one. Mia's the character in it. I can't think of her name. She's in a few of the main girl in it. She
Yeah,
has her one.
yeah,
And then you've got Evil Dead Rises,
yeah. Oh, that's a
which is
different book.
Yeah, which was fantastic as well.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. That was
Lee
good.
Cronin's one, yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently they're all linked in some random way that the next couple of movies are meant to tell us. But
Mm, mm.
that could be bullshit, and they could just go, yeah, 13 and Rise is one, and just scrape out the original three.
Yeah, yeah.
But like for me, I think 2013 is the best of the bunch.
So I think they're really good, really, really good, much better than I was expecting when I went in to see them. But Evil Dead 2 is absolute classic. I can't.
See,
That's in its own league for me.
out of the three, obviously, Army of Darkness is the worst of them, but it's my favorite of them.
Oh, it's not. It's nice and cheesy. Yeah, it's got some
Yeah,
funny bits in it.
it's
But
right up there with just some of them, like the How About Some Hot Coffee one. It's just quality. But there's some scenes in the original one, like when the branch goes through his ankle or through her
mm,
ankle, and like I remember watching a documentary where they were like, "How did you make that sound?" They stuck a pencil through an apple.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like there's some bits of it, and you're just like, Jesus, that's bad. That's rough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I mean, I think when I went to university, it would have been like 98. Obviously, Evil Dead's 80s, uh, but I think it was very much one that you'd look back on and go, "Oh my God, they did that with no money at all, so I
yeah.
can do that." Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's a cool film, but it's also like an inspirational film. So it's like, look what they can achieve just out in the woods with a car and some
Mm.
basic special effects.
What I do love about two is basically a remake of one
Yeah.
with more budget
Yeah. Yeah.
and a
And
lot more cheese.
I don't know if I'd have the patience to do that. I think I'd make something once and then be like, God, I can't go back to that. But they've
Now,
obviously,
in saying that, like everyone obviously still like the majority of people still think the original one is the best,
mm,
right? Um, but there's another movie that came out in 2023. I don't know whether you've ever seen the 2013 movie Last Shift. Have you?
oh shift. Who's in it?
Oh, girl's name is evading me now. She's a cop in it who's taken
Right.
over the precinct that her dad was in,
Yeah.
and
What's the rest of the plot? Go on.
he'd killed himself. But there's like a what would you say? There's like a spirit haunting the building, and she's in it on her own,
Yeah.
and it's driving her mad.
I doesn't ring a bell. No.
No, well, the director Ante Blasi done it in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
and in 2023 he released a film called Malum,
Malum, right?
which is basically how he wanted to make Last Shift before
Oh,
people got
okay.
involved in it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And my boy Cheney Morrow is the bad guy in it, and it's just like it's a million times better.
Right. Okay, I have to
It's
check that one out.
darker. Go and watch the two of them. Like I wasn't a huge
Mm,
fan of Last Shift,
mm.
um, but fucking loved Malum. Like I text Cheney when I seen it, and I was like, "That's the most Charles Manson like performance you're gonna get from someone that's not Charles Manson."
Yeah, yeah.
He
Oh, I'll
plays
give
a
it a
cult
go.
leader in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll definitely give it a
Oh, it's
go.
so
Sounds good.
good. Um, but yeah, like horror's been great over the last number of years, and I'm really big into the indie scene. Like I get sent stuff from directors all the time to watch,
Mm,
which is great because otherwise I'd never heard of it or never see it.
yeah.
And I do appreciate you reaching out to me. Obviously, I'd said to you it wasn't my ideal cup of tea,
Mm,
but I wasn't going to knock it in any way where it didn't deserve. It's just my own preference on movies that it wasn't for me.
yeah.
Like,
I
so
bet you see a lot. You probably see a lot of horror movies. Probably more than
uh,
I do.
let me see, let me see. How many did I watch last night or last year? I watched a total of 133 horror films last year.
Wowzers. Wowzers.
Uh, So there was a lot of them, and
Yeah.
I might have even forgotten some in there, and it
Yeah.
sounds like that's one every 3 days basically.
Yeah.
Um, like I watch a stupid amount. Like people send me them, I watch them. I'll go back and watch. I have certain ones that I watch every year. As I said, the
Yeah.
likes of the Wishmaster. I watch Jaws every year. I watch
Yeah.
Dog Soldiers because it's the greatest werewolf movie ever made. Um,
So
like
what? Last year, 2024, what was the best horror film you saw, and what was the best film you saw?
ooh, um, Iron Claw was definitely the best film.
Oh yeah, it's a good movie that.
Iron Claw was fantastic.
The end of that film, not just well, I think people know what happens, but just when he said, "I'm not a brother anymore," it's just like, wow, that was just
Yeah. The if you were to ask me, I'm pretty sure that that killed the son as well.
yeah,
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 nearly
yeah.
sure of it. That scene on the boat that was just horrendous.
Mm, mm,
Where he's just coming along, and the other three are there, and it's like, ah, Jesus,
yeah.
making a
No,
man cry his own tears here.
yeah, and but the thing is, the shame of that is that film didn't get the love it deserved, did it? It kind of got
No,
a bit
Zac
sort of
Efron
pushed
deserved
aside.
the Zac Efron deserved an Oscar nom for that. That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
But then what I wonder is this is going to sound stupid, but I think that is tied to how he looked. So it's the silly hair
Yeah,
that guy had made people look at him and laugh and not give the film a chance.
it's
Do you know what
it's
I mean?
also it's also a movie that wasn't made to win awards. It's not
Mm,
made in that way.
yeah.
Um, now I was very close on two horror movies last year.
Yeah.
First Omen was one of them. Didn't
Oh yeah.
expect didn't expect
Me
anything.
neither. Me neither.
Not a huge fan of the original Omen. It's
Mm,
just there. I understand what it did, and it was groundbreaking at the time. Watched the first Omen, I was glued. I was all in.
agreed. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Now I was sick of seeing the nun, the nunnery kind of movies
yeah.
because I watched the first Omen and I watched Immaculate and the Nun sort of in quick time because I'd never seen the Nun,
Hmm.
and myself and herself watched the Conjuring franchise.
Oh yeah.
And we got to the Nun, so I ended up watching like Immaculate with Sydney Sweeney, which
Yeah.
was terrible.
See, that's the thing is people go in two camps, I find. They either love Immaculate or they love First Omen. I couldn't get on with Immaculate and
Mm.
I loved First Omen. I mean, I would say I'm a big Omen fan because that absolutely made me shit myself when I was younger. But the First Omen was such a nice surprise because I just thought it was going to be some crappy sort of, oh, they've just rehashed it. You know what I mean? They just want to squeeze a film out. I was like, oh, this is actually genuinely a good movie. Really
And
good.
that made it to number 4 on my list total last year.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would say I'd put it high up. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
So mine went Iron Claw,
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine was second because it was
Oh, right.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another one.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But the one horror to beat it was Late Night with the Devil.
Ah, no, confession is I've not got around to watching that yet.
Oh man.
And I need to. And I nearly bought it the other day because I was like, because I haven't, I meant to get Shudder for a while because I was going to watch some movies of some guys I interviewed on my podcast. Um, and yeah, it's on my list. I definitely want to see it.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on Longlegs?
No, it wasn't for me.
Wasn't for you. See, I
No.
absolutely love Longlegs. That would
No.
be my number one,
Uh,
probably.
where did I put Long Legs? It's somewhere way down the fucking list.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, it's into the 50s or 60s.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. 64.
64.
Immaculate was below it though.
Where was Immaculate? What number?
81.
81. Yeah.
It was fucking atrocious.
Yeah, I do
Atrocious.
I do wonder with that because I think I heard she had a lot to do, Sydney Sweeney had a lot to do with the producing of that. And I think it felt like one of those roles where the actor gets so obsessed with it and so like, oh, I get to do all this stuff and the end scene I get to do X, Y, and Z that they kind of miss the point, you know.
She, I didn't think she was bad in it, and
No, she was
some of the effects were brilliant in it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that scene where they were branding her foot and stuff,
Mm,
that looked
mm,
horrendous.
mm. Yeah, it just
Um,
didn't scare me, like not scare me, but it didn't make me feel the same way the first time it did.
yeah, first Almond, the ending of the first Almond with the picture
Mm,
being handed over, I was like,
mm.
oh my god. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's a
yeah.
good movie.
But Late Night the Devil is just next level,
Right, I would definitely. It's been on my list for ages. I really want to see it.
next fucking level. It was. I didn't know what to expect from me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Talking of, you spoke about vampires earlier. Have you seen? Because this is one I've been waiting to come out. I think it's just come out on DVD over here. Last Voyage of the Demeter. Have you seen that? Or not?
Oh yeah, I seen that. I seen that in 23.
Did you? And is it any good?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
A lot of people shit on it because of the CGI.
Right.
I thought it was very good. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it, and I like that story because it's not really done too much.
Mm.
Obviously, you get the scene in the Gary Oldman film, and then you obviously there's a version of it now in Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously the story's kind of changed, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was vicious and it was a nice look to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Um,
I will. I'm going into town on Sunday. I'm going to buy it. I think I'm going to buy that. There's another movie I'm going to buy. Oh, and my son wants to buy Venom 3 because he wasn't able to see it at the cinema.
yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I know, but me neither. And I'm a big, like you can tell, I'm a big comic book fan. So for me, it's like that's not really Venom, but he loves it. So if he loves it, I'm happy to sit and watch it with him.
I wouldn't be rushing into doing that now myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but like I went in and uh, just the first two were meh.
Hmm. To be fair, I thought the first one was good, and I liked the him talking to himself thing. That kind of worked for me. But I think they've just got progressively too big, and they're sort of trying to spin it out into lots of different things, and all these other characters are popping out. So it's just too much going on. But like I say, when you're when I'm watching it with him, I'm kind of seeing it through his eyes, and a little bit like you with Wishmaster, he when he gets older, people might be like, "Oh yeah, Venom, that was schlocky rubbish," but because it was a formative moment that he watched maybe it's cooler. I don't know. Maybe it connects more. I don't know.
Absolutely, and like I don't knock. Well, I do. I'll knock people for if they give me a shit movie to watch or to that they love. But like you can love what you want. That's the best thing about movies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like my missus' favorite movie is Wicked. I watched 15 minutes of it and I felt like throwing myself off the balcony. I was like, holy good fuck, this is awful. Awful.
So not a musical fan at all, or is it just that particular film?
No, I don't really watch musicals. Sweeney Todd's
Sweeney Todd, of course, Sweeney Todd, yeah.
that's about right about it, really. Unless you count Edward Scissorhands and like Willy Wonka and stuff in musical, do you
Yeah,
count Disney
yeah, yeah.
movies as a musical?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I liked Wicked. Again, I've got a daughter and a wife. They loved it. I thought it was okay. I thought it looked nice. It looked nice. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay.
Each to their own, I suppose. Wasn't for me. I watched that bit of it and I said, nah. Now, don't get me wrong, she watches a lot of the crap that I watch as well.
Yeah,
And like don't get me wrong, like I'll always say, yeah, a lot of the movies I love, a lot of the horror movies I love are not crap. Well, they are crap, but they're not crap if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like the Wrong Turn franchise is probably my favorite horror franchise.
Wrong Turn. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love them all, every one of them,
All of them. Wow,
all of
that's dedication.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Even three, even three.
Even three. So then, let me ask you a question. Does the missus has she always been like okay with horror, or has she been kind of pushed into it because you love it?
No, because like when I first started going out with her, I used to work in a video shop,
Right.
and she used
Okay.
to come in with her friends and rent stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So she would watch them. She would have never watched them as much as probably as she does.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
again, she doesn't watch a whole lot of them with me. She watched Nosferatu with me this year.
Hmm.
Um, but like for her, yeah, for her to sit down and watch one with me, it's obviously one that has to grip her, or she's just sitting around to watch something for the sake of it,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or she wants to go and see Wicked, and I'm like, yeah, no,
Yeah. There is a bit. We have a little bit of that in our household. There's a bit of bargaining. There's like, I'll go and see that if you go and see this. But then it's tough, isn't it? Because cinemas. I
it's
don't know about where
expensive.
you are. Is it well, it's really expensive, and also there isn't that much on. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we're in kind of a good period at the moment. There seems to be a lot of sort of horrors coming out. Have you seen The Monkey?
No, it's not out till next week.
Oh, it's next week. Right, right, right. Yeah, I want to see that one. That's on my list. But there seems to be a few coming out. But then there'll be periods of time at the cinema where there's just nothing.
There
Just it
seems to
will.
be a lot this year, though, an
Yeah.
awful lot of them. Obviously, Nosferatu for us and yourself included was New Year's Day.
Hmm.
Then Wolfman came out the middle of January, which I haven't seen yet. Now it's getting
Not seen
slated.
that. Is
It's
it? Oh,
getting
that's a shame.
absolutely slated. Now I've talked to a few people today. Now, funny enough, I hadn't seen
Mm.
anything good on it. Talked to a few people today that were hyping it up a bit. So,
Well, I loved Invisible Man. That was
oh, it was
awesome.
atrocious. Oh, it was
Oh, you
awful.
didn't like it?
Awful. The only thing I liked about that movie was the design of the
Music.
suit.
Oh, right, 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 right.
I thought the way he had the suit done with the cameras
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
yeah. Oh, that's
Um,
interesting. Yeah, I really
and
enjoyed that movie.
I didn't. Oh, and the scene where he gets you under, like, pretty much off herself in the restaurant, the sister,
Mm,
that
mm,
was good. But
yeah.
other than that, I was like, no, not for me. Um, I haven't liked a whole lot of the Universal remakes.
Mm, yeah. No, they've not quite got that right.
No.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I'm a bit hesitant now. Obviously, Netflix have taken over Frankenstein, which is due out in
Mm,
November.
mm,
It's a pick that for the movie that it is, the director is probably spot on
mm.
in
Oh, he
Guillermo
loves
del
all of that
Toro.
stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's not a better one. Ironically, 2 years ago, when we had a different podcast called Retrotainment Recast, when we spoke about if you were to pick a director to do a movie, and Carl, one of the co-hosts here, his favorite movie is Nosferatu, or one of them is. I said to him, I says Robert Eggers is the only person you pick,
Mm,
legitimately the only person you could pick because of the way he shoots and his style.
yeah.
And then it came out like
And then he went and
half a
did it.
year later. It was like I was like, shit, give me the lotto numbers. um, I think it was. I thought Nosferatu was phenomenal.
Yeah, now you see, I'm going to come at it from a different angle with that. And I think the problem is I saw it maybe 3 weeks after it come out. So my expectations were here, and I came out and I was a little disappointed. And I hate to say that because I can tell it's beautiful and I can tell it's so much love's gone into that. The main thing I didn't like was the fact they gave him a moustache. It just made him not scary. It just sort of seemed like a big Freddie Mercury. I don't know. It just didn't. That ruined
So,
it for me.
so I said that to my missus all the way through the film. I was like, the mustache, though, the fucking mustache. I was like, what is that? And then by the
Yeah.
end of it, I was like, I want my mustache.
Oh, you like the mustache? Yeah. Yeah. It was no. It was. It's a good movie, and I'm trying to think what we'd seen. I think I'd watched Bram Stoker's Dracula
That's
recently.
so. This is what I said to the lads when I seen it. I says it's not a remake of Nosferatu. Now we all know Nosferatu was an illegal rip of the book,
Mm,
but this is a remake of the '92 Dracula, just
yeah.
better.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not. I'd fight you on that. I love the '92 Bram Stoker one.
So
Love it.
so do I. But let's
Yeah.
be honest. Nicholas Hoult was far superior to Keanu Reeves.
All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. But then
Uh,
I
Lily
prefer
Lily
Anthony Hopkins.
Lily
Anthony
Rose
Hop
Depp was far superior to um
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah, but the Bram Stoker's. It's just Gary Oldman. Come on, he's
Gary,
better
well,
than
no,
Mustache, isn't he?
Gary Oldman was the best thing about that movie. That's
Yeah.
my favorite interpretation of Dracula.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and like, there's nothing that I think that will ever touch that. I have him higher than Christopher Lee or
Oh yeah.
Bella
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
things. But I think everything about Nosferatu was better, bar
Mm.
Nosferatu. But I still think Bill Skarsgård done a phenomenal job, and his voice was better than Gary Oldman's.
Yeah, he did something special with the voice. I think it doesn't help that it's a shame that story follows the exact same Dracula because
Yeah,
you're constantly comparing even scene by scene, aren't you?
yeah,
And I'm looking at I think what the achievement of Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I think Nosferatu did as well, is a lot of those in-camera effects where do you know what I mean? They're using big sets, they're using matte paintings, or all that kind of stuff really builds this world for you. So like the carriage sequence, the
that I sat and watched that with my missus, and I was
Mm,
like, and she was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "This is just the '92 Dracula." And she's like,
yeah,
"What do you mean?" I was like, "This whole build of when Keanu Reeves is traveling to Romania."
mm,
I was like, "This is pretty much same scene." I says, "Now watch as
mm,
this carriage comes down and spins around and opens." And next thing
mm.
I was like, "God damn!" She's like, "You might have seen that in the ad," and I was like, "No, I've seen it in the other movie."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean,
It
yeah.
was
So
brilliant.
it's
I thought it was brilliant, though.
yeah, yeah. I enjoyed Nosferatu, but like I say, I think my expectations were too high because I do like Eggers' other films, and I think I just it's because I know that story too well. I think I knew every beat that was coming.
Yeah, I must say no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was brilliant,
Mm,
and
mm.
Willem Dafoe was just phenomenal.
Oh, I love him. I love him, but then I like Anthony Hopkins, so. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it
Yeah,
was
if it was a competition, but it's yeah, it's a good film. It's a
it
good
was
film.
it was he was the show stealer.
Yeah, He always is, though.
Aaron Taylor Johnson was brilliant as well for the small part that he had.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. I guess it's good when directors get that big, they can fill all of the parts with a bit like Christopher Nolan. Every part is a someone who's really, really good doing
Yeah,
something really, really good.
yeah. There's a Marmite director. You either love him or you hate him.
So where do you sit on that then?
I'm 50-50 to be honest. I like the
Yeah,
Batman, two of the three Batman trilogy.
yeah,
Um, I attempted to watch Tenant, and I was like, I have no interest here.
yeah, yeah. I think there's films of his I like. Inception, I love. I like you say, it's two Batmans. The last one, yeah, I get it,
Oh
but
no, I'm the first one.
oh, the first
I
one.
don't really like Begins.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. All
Mm.
right. Well, I'd spin it the other way. I'd say I like all of them up until about halfway through. Um, what's the last one? Rises.
Dark Knight
Rise.
Rises.
Oh, the Rises. Yeah, I think maybe that lost me a little bit.
What when
Love
the
it.
what about around the time when they start fighting in the underground tunnel?
Probably. Yeah, I can't really remember the end of that. Or maybe it was just the ending I didn't like. I don't know.
Oh,
Um,
oh no, the ending with Michael Caine's speech, and he's like,
oh, the little
I,
bit where he sees it. No, that bit's nice. Yeah, yeah,
I'd wish to see you in a little restaurant. Wouldn't even say it and just nod, and we'd know.
yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, when that happened in the cinema, I was like,
yeah.
take a bow. That's storytelling at its finest.
Yeah, yeah, no, that is a nice moment, and that's been memed to death, but I love it.
Yeah,
What's the other one? Prestige. I like that. That's a good movie.
Prestige was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, like you say, Tenant was a little confusing, and I don't think it had quite.
It just kind of mumbled everything. It was just kind of like,
Yeah,
what is
the
going on?
sound was a bit. What about the war one? That was good. What was it called? The one that's on the beach with all the boats come over. Dundee,
I didn't watch it.
Dunkirk. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good one. And I
Didn't even know
wasn't
he'd done it.
yeah, I wasn't a huge Oppenheimer fan.
Oppenheimer was phenomenal.
Oh, you loved it. Oh, see,
Oh,
that's
absolutely. I sat there and I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking dread this. This is three and a half
yeah, yeah.
hours of whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna watch. I don't really normally watch films in two parts unless I'm watching them with either with the kids or
Mm,
I'm watching them with herself. And I
mm,
sat there one day and I was off work and I was waiting on a delivery because we moved house when it came out. And I put it on and like 3 hours had gone by. I was like, oh, this must be getting close to when I have to turn it off for a while. And I
yeah.
looked and there was only like 15 minutes left. I was like, whoa, yes.
Made it. Yeah, yeah. I saw it at the cinema. I think I saw it in IMAX. Um, I think it's a good movie. I like it, but I didn't love it. And I think I didn't love it. I loved Robert Downey Jr. He was brilliant in it. Well, I didn't love it because I felt like, and maybe this is the point, is they didn't Oppenheimer, the character or the figure, I didn't feel to me as if he took that much responsibility. Do you know what I mean? I didn't feel like at the end of it that on his face I could see what he'd created and the impact that had. Maybe that's just me not connecting with Cillian Murphy. I don't know.
I like Cillian Murphy now. I think he's a very underrated. Now,
He's a good actor.
obviously
Yeah.
not now. He's not underrated, but
Oh, he's gonna. Yeah.
for a long time, he's been an underrated actor,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. No, he is. He's a good actor. He's a good actor.
and also in one of my favorite horror films, in 28 Days Later.
Yeah. 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 You
And
looking
now,
forward to the new one?
um, no, not really.
No.
No,
Why
I'm
not?
going in with no expectations.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going actually that's a lie. I'm going in with the expectation that it's going to be absolutely shy.
Really? Why did you say that? What makes you think that?
Because then if it is shy, I'm not disappointed. And if
Okay.
I go in and it's shy and it's somewhatly good, I'm like
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
happy.
Okay. I get you. I get your plan. I
Um,
think it'll be good. Rafe Fiennes is good. Danny
yeah,
Boyle's good. I think it'll be good.
again, it's I'm not a huge Danny Boyle fan. I only like 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later, and I know he didn't do 28 weeks.
Right. All right. What about Trainspotting?
No, not really.
No. Ah,
No.
see.
That other one, the Slumdog Millionaire, was atrocious.
Didn't like it. See, I
No,
like. Didn't mind that.
I
Just
was
something weird.
bored off my tree watching that. Um, no, Life of Pi, is it? Life of Pi. He done
No,
that
that
one
was
as well.
Ang Lee. He did
Oh,
Slumdog Millionaire. He did A Life Less Ordinary, which I didn't really like.
there was another one he done, and I was like, this is just no. good luck to
Yeah.
that. Um, Now, I would like to see him going back into horror properly
Mm,
because I think
mm,
he makes great horror films.
mm,
Um, and it might take the fucking this mantle that people put Jordan Peele on,
mm.
being like the new master of horror. Will you get fucked? His movies are atrocious.
All of them. Don't like any of them.
Not one.
Really? Now,
Not one.
yeah, I would say I liked Get Out. I liked Us.
No,
I
no,
wasn't didn't really get the Alien one as much, but I
nope,
did. I enjoyed the other two.
no.
No.
I watched Get Out on the plane to Florida for my honeymoon,
Yeah.
and if I had the chance to walk off the plane, I'd have walked off. And I'm on the thing where I have to finish a movie when I start it.
Mm,
Obviously, as I said, if I'm watching them with the kids or something and they're going to bed or whatever,
yeah.
I'll turn it off. But if I'm watching a movie by myself from the start, I'll watch it through. It doesn't matter how bad it is.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there and Zoe kept asking me on the plane, so what's wrong with it? I was like, this is awful, awful.
So then, if I was Jordan Peele, so have you seen it since? You just watched it the once,
Oh, once and
once,
done.
once
Every
and
one of
done,
his movies has been a one and done.
one and done. So I would say, if I was him, I'd be like begging you to not watch it on a plane because I've seen stuff on plane and you can't hear it properly, or it's this big. Do you know what I mean? Is there no way a rewatch you might reassess it?
No, no, no.
No, no,
There,
no, 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 no.
no. Do you know what? Ted, one of the co-hosts on this, he said to me that Nope was very not Jordan Peele like.
Mm.
So I gave that a go. Oh fuck me, it was atrocious. That was the worst one of the lot.
Yeah, I didn't get on with Nope so much. There was parts of it I enjoyed, but I didn't like it as much as the other two. But yeah, I do like Get Out. I think it's really well written, and I did like Us because I love the music and I just like the idea. But then I
Again,
like wacky
this
ideas like
this
that.
whole narrative of him being an original filmmaker as well is a lot of bollocks.
Mm.
He's not an original filmmaker. Like Get Out is a mix of a few films, like the Stepford Wives and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Us is basically a rip of Mirrors.
yeah. Mm. Mm.
Nope is like any other Alien movie. It was just there. It was
Yeah,
like a bad version of Signs. Do you know what I mean? I was just no. I can't get anything to do with that man. I can't stand him. His comedy was
really.
good. I like this comedy.
Comedy, yeah, yeah. I rate him. I think he's good. I think he's there is something about those films that I really enjoy. So one you mentioned there that doesn't get a lot of love, Signs.
Oh,
Good movie.
it's just ridiculously good.
It is a good movie.
Ridiculous. I went to see that in the cinema
Yeah.
when I was like 12. And
Mm.
I remember coming out of the cinema and I was like, my God. Looking behind every bush.
Yeah. Sleepless
Motherfuckers.
Nights. Yeah, they could turn up
Like,
any day. Yeah.
you've made a good film when it's been 23 years now.
Mm.
Sorry, excuse me. And everyone remembers that scene when he's
Mm.
sitting under the stairs and the news reporter's going, and he's like, feminist
Yeah.
kids, move. And it comes out from behind the bushes.
Yeah. 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 No, it's a good movie. Really
Oh,
good.
absolutely. Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix, just ridiculous.
Mm.
And Cherry Jones as well. She was in a lot of his M Night's movies.
Mm. And
Um,
again, there's a film that's got a positive ending. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want. I want to have that. Like it's sad, but it's also kind of uplifting. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of
yeah,
thing I like. That's my zone.
I'm under the impression now if I was making that movie the exact same way,
Mm.
one of them kids had to die.
Right. Okay.
Legitimately,
Yeah.
I get the whole happy ending thing,
Yeah.
and I thought the spin with the asthma having his lungs closed was a
Mm.
very good twist on it.
Yeah.
But I thought one of the four had to go.
Yeah. Ah, see, I like the happy ending. So then it is a question, because I think this happened for me. I think when we had kids, maybe for me, that was the moment my taste changed a little bit.
Oh no, no, no,
No, it's gone the other
oh
way with
no,
you. One of the
oh
kids has to die.
yeah. Oh, I'm dark and dreary the whole fucking time. Um, like there's certain movies like everyone will go, oh yeah, the girl in Hereditary had to go.
Mm.
But what's the difference with that or one of the kids in Science? You know what I mean? A kid
I
is a
guess,
kid.
yeah, I guess. But then the Hereditary, which I love, um,
Not for
is
me
a
either.
much sort of darker. kind of, I don't know what it is about. I don't know how that film gets so under my skin. It just does. It's just, yeah.
It wasn't for me either. That one.
Wasn't for you. No,
That
right.
that
See,
no, Carl, one of the co-hosts, it's he loves it, and
oh,
he
it's
keeps
such a
trying to
good
get me.
movie.
He keeps trying to get me to rewatch it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that and Midsummer, I did not just didn't click.
Yeah, I didn't get on with Midsummer as much. I enjoyed it. Didn't get on with, but Hereditary, I'd put that, you know, close to the top in horror films for me. Really good, really
Nah,
spooky,
no,
really good
don't even.
performances. Tony Collette should have got an Oscar nomination for that performance in that
Tony,
film.
like, everyone says that for that. If I was giving Tony Collette the Oscar nom, it would have been for Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense, I was the mum. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was absolutely. You felt every bit of pain for that
Mm,
woman in that.
mm, mm,
That scene in the car when he's like, when your mum died,
mm.
and she's like, she was at your ballet recital and stuff. You're like, God damn. Um, no, but look, it is what it is, isn't it? Everyone has their own type of horror film
Yeah,
and horror director. Like, but before we finish up, right, I'll throw you a few quick fire questions,
go on then, hit
right?
me.
Um, your top five horror films doesn't have to be in order.
Okay, I cannot give you a legitimate top five that I've thought through, but I'll give you five that I really love. So I'm going to put Hereditary in there because it scares me. I'm going to put The Thing in there because we talked about that, and that is an absolute classic. I'll probably put in the. It's cheesy, but it was scary at the time, and I don't know if it's dated as well. But I'll put Nightmare on Elm Street original. Uh,
First horror film I ever seen.
yeah, 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 yeah. And again. Oh, not to just put ones in we talked about, but I love The Omen. First Omen gave me nightmares. That kind of religious fear stuff is something.
It's a dead brand of movie now though because the church doesn't have that stranglehold
No,
anymore.
it doesn't. But when I was a kid, that was so mysterious and so kind of the horror of the fact that things would a little bit like Final Destination. You know, things would just sort of
What a
fall
movie!
off a building and chop your head off.
What a
There's
movie!
nothing you could do about it. Yeah, what a movie. So what have I done? Have I done four?
That's four.
Um,
Yeah.
let me give you one more. Really, what's a really, really good horror that I absolutely like? My brain's gonna go blank now.
Go on. Go on.
Ugh, it's coming, it's coming. I will go for. I'm not going to go Halloween. I do love the Halloween movies. I'm not going to go Friday the 13th. Good movies, but not going to go there. Shit, give me another one. I can't give you something from recently because that's just a cop out, isn't it?
Not
Oh, I
really.
know. I'll give you one. Okay, so it's not a great film, but this absolutely scared the shit out of me when I was little. And I didn't even see the film. I saw the poster. And I'll ask you a question about posters in a minute, which I find fascinating. The movie was Chud,
Oh,
cannibalistic.
cannibalistic
Yeah,
underground humanoid
humanoid
dwellings.
dwellers. Yes. The film's not great. The poster was amazing. When I saw the film, honestly, that gave me nightmares. So I'm going to put Chud in there just because of the effect it had on me.
The poster was the manhole cover, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And like the
yeah,
head coming up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Oh,
so if I can ask you a quick question back, what is your favourite 80s video cover? So you know they used to do those beautifully
yeah,
hand
yeah.
drawn, like Chud. Like you've got your Big Trouble in Little China. I know it's not horror, but that's hand drawn poster. So have you
That
got
movie is the ultimate hybrid movie. It's got everything.
everything? It has got a bit of everything. So of those posters, do you remember your favourite?
Okay, so 1986, I think. Let me
Yeah.
just check that. I will. I'll be disgusted now if it's wrong. 1985, bastard. House
House. Yeah, 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 with the
with
finger.
the hand ringing the doorbell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good
yeah.
one. That's a good one.
Movie, meh. The
Yeah, well,
poster was very good.
poster very good. Movie wasn't quite what it was sold as, but I did enjoy it.
People Under the Stairs was 1990. That had a cool one.
Mm,
I've had the chance to sit down with Sean Whalen as well, who was in that.
mm.
Nightmare on Elm Street had a great one.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
With
classic.
the light blue, and obviously him coming out over the bed.
Mm.
Um, Friday the 13th was pretty poor. Halloween's was meh. It's become iconic, but in terms of some of the posters that have came out, I know obviously it's 1970 odd, but um, yeah, yeah, House is the one that always sticks with me.
Yeah,
Loved it.
it's a good choice. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
some of the, I think all of that style, I wish there was more like that now because they're so, those posters will last forever, won't they? Whereas some of
yeah.
the posters you get these days,
Uh,
you're just going to forget about them.
yeah, there's not a whole lot really. Like you get certain ones that the covers are great,
Mm,
but it's few and far now. It's not as designed. Where you
yeah.
find it actually in the indie scene, you get the better ones.
Yeah, because people want to hark back to that period and
Yeah,
get a hand, something that's hand drawn
yeah.
piece of art. Yeah.
The Mutilator is one of my favorite '80s movies. Had a good one.
What was the picture on that?
Depends on which one you got. I'll see if I can find the Irish one. Yeah, well, actually, it might be the main one. It's the Hook. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Mutilator.
yeah. I mean, straight to the fucking point. Bang, done. You
Mm,
know who the
mm.
killer is. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. What's the one? Maniac Cop. I think that had quite a good poster
yeah.
as
That was
well.
the cop on all black, the
Yeah,
silhouette
yeah,
basically with
yeah.
the blue thing behind it. I actually have that saved on a list stuff to watch. I saved it today. I was like, yeah.
Get back
Um,
into that.
yeah. Obviously, Jaws has an iconic one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
that's a really good poster.
yeah. Yeah. There's loads, but yeah, for me, House is the one. Yeah.
Good choice.
The one,
Good
it's the
choice.
one that always just anytime, and I've mentioned a few times when we've talked about artwork. House was always the one I always remembered,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
it's such.
House Two.
Yeah, yeah. The two fingers, but it's so. It's fun because that one's compared in that kind of period, that 80s period of posters. That was pretty simple, really, wasn't it? Because a lot of
Yeah,
posters used to have a lot going on, but that one, it's just
the hand, the pushing
a
the doorbell.
hand pushing the doorbell has just got so much behind it, hasn't it? Like a rotted hand pushing a doorbell. You know something's coming. It's coming to your home. You know, it's got so much. It tells a story within one image. So good.
Oh, it was awesome. The artwork for the '70s and '80s
Mm,
was phenomenal. Obviously, Scream in the '90s had a great one.
mm.
Um, but Ravenous, I think, for the '90s is probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. What was Ravenous? I thought that was just floating heads. What was on Ravenous?
Yeah, the Guy Pearce one. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
heads with the woods behind it,
Right,
and
right.
yeah, and the knife over the top of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or Fallen with Denzel.
Mm,
Just something playing his face
mm,
and the trees behind it. I was like, yeah. Jeepers Creepers one and two in the early 2000s with the
mm,
eye
mm,
coming through the skin. That's one of my favorite ones.
mm.
Yeah, the artwork's just not the same anymore. Now,
No.
within saying that, one of the big creators of artwork is a fella from about 15 minutes from that lives 15 minutes from me called Creepy
Oh,
Duck
really?
Designs.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's done some of the biggest ones and the best
Mm,
ones
mm.
in the business right now. So if you're ever looking for new ones, Creepy Duck Designs is he's right up there.
I'll check him out.
Yeah. Obviously, and then obviously everyone has Terrifier up there as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is. Jim, I think we'll leave it there. I will have you back on it again when I have the lads back, and we'll have a proper discussion. You can pitch some of those reboot ideas to Carl and see how he takes them.
Yes, yes, I will do. I will
It's
do.
a
But
it's
yeah,
a touch
thanks so
it's a touch
much.
it's a touchy subject for Carl.
Is it? All
Yeah,
right.
he's not a big fan of remakes.
Remakes. Well, yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's horrific. I get it.
I'll
But
tell you what then. Just before we finish up, right?
yeah.
Give me your top five remakes.
Right, top five remakes. Well, I'm going to refer to ones we've already. Can I
Yeah, yeah.
count? Yeah, so I count. I'll probably put the Evil Dead ones in there. I know they're not, like you
Okay,
say,
so
strictly
Evil Dead
speaking.
2013, Fede Alves. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. That'll be in my
Um,
list.
yeah, they were pretty good. Remakes. God, this is where you're. I need like a big. I need all my DVDs in front of me so I can scan through them. I've got nothing. I'm looking out of a window.
I
Um,
I know a lot of mine off the top of my head.
Go
Went
on, give
some
me some of
last week.
yours. Give me some of yours, and then I can.
Texas Chainsaw '03. It's better than the original. Straight
Say
up, straight up.
no. Sorry, disagree. Disagree.
Everything else bar Leatherface in the '03 one is better. Everything else.
I see now. Again, we're talking. This is the thing for me. Formative films. Texas
Orly
Chainsaw.
Emery absolutely steals the show as the sheriff. Jessica Biel is better than Marlon Burns. Eric Balfour is better than Thing. And I've never ever seen a character I want killed more than Thing in the original one.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah.
But then there is that element, which maybe this is why your pal doesn't like it. There's that element of, all right, the new one might have all this stuff in it that's cool, but it wouldn't exist without this thing here. Do you know what I mean? And this thing here's.
I get that as well, but just
Mm,
because it's an original, right,
mm.
doesn't mean it's better.
No, not
Like
necessarily. Yeah, but I
like
think for
like
me,
Hills Have Eyes is better than the original.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Absolutely, 100 times better than the original.
Mm. So then
Um,
can I have the thing then as a remake because it's a remake of an old black and white film, isn't it?
the thing is the greatest remake of any genre ever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
and that's
good.
something I say on anytime someone says it.
Yeah,
It's the greatest remake of any genre ever.
yeah, 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 definitely.
And a lot of people were like, "It's not a remake." It absolutely is a
Mm,
remake.
mm, yeah, it is. Yeah,
It
yeah,
came from it came from outer space is the original one, or it came
mm,
from came from outer space, or it came from another planet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Thing's the greatest remake. Yeah, absolutely. If it didn't make a list, like sometimes people will say I won't put it in because everyone knows it's coming.
Yeah, it does get talked about a lot as
Mm.
a classic movie. My mind has gone absolutely blank, so I'm going to have to go away and watch a load of remakes and come back to you with my official top remake
We
list.
all know the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street's the better one of the two as well. Said
Of the
said
two remakes, you mean, not of the.
said absolutely no
I
one
was going
ever.
to say what?
It's fucking atrocious.
Yeah,
It's the worst
yeah,
remake I've seen.
yeah. But then
Actually, the
yeah,
Crazies was another good one that I seen.
Crazies was good. Yeah, Crazies was
I'd
good.
have that better than the original one.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree with that. That
Yeah,
was
and
that
I
worked.
only rewatched that there about 2 weeks ago since the first time since I seen it in the cinema.
It's got some really shocking moments in it. Yeah,
Yeah,
really good movie. Because they're doing Freddy Krueger again, aren't they? They're doing a new one again.
not that I've seen.
Oh, right. I'm sure someone said they were going to do another, maybe a TV series.
No, I don't know whether you might follow the lads that do Terrifier. They're after putting out a short movie they made.
Oh, are they? All
Fuzz,
right.
Fuzz on the Lens done it. Michael Levy done it. He
Yeah.
played Freddy in it.
Oh,
But
lovely.
if there is a new one coming out, I haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd watch it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like it, but I'd watch
Yeah.
it.
It's, you know what? It's the thing about the originals is there was a period of time when murdering teenagers was kind of the rage, wasn't it? It was like murdering teenagers is what a film is. All the lead characters were teenagers. They
Yeah,
all got murdered. You had Lost Boys, whatever, Now you've almost got to make your characters unlikable enough to deserve to die. Whereas back then it was, do you know what I mean? Anyone could die. Any one of those people, like Johnny Depp, didn't deserve to die in Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one. If that had
I
been,
did. He made that mistake. He fell asleep and left
he
her to
fell
die.
asleep and he had a crop top on. All right, maybe
No, 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 no,
that's
no, no, not that. But remember when he's sitting in the chair and she's like, "Stay awake
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and wake me up," and then the super fucker fell asleep himself.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
But
could
I
have
mean,
gone both kills.
but as a character, there was nothing. He wasn't a horrible person.
No,
Whereas I feel
no.
like if that was made now, as an audience, there'd be something about him that we wouldn't like. He'd cheat on his girlfriend or something, so
Yeah,
that we could justify doing that to him.
yeah. It's all becoming too political now.
Mm. He says the guy with the political horror movie says this.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
too political.
yeah. It's all too woke. Like that. But I think we'll leave it there, Jim. Absolutely,
Cool.
we'd love to have you back on to chat something, and
Definitely.
I'll try and wind you and the lads up some more.
Brilliant.
Which,
Fantastic.
well, the lads all know my hot takes now. Um, well, they're not actually hot takes because I actually believe it to be true.
Yeah,
But sure, it is what it is, isn't it?
it is. It is indeed.
But we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to watch the Apocalypse box.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And if you do get the rerun of that vampire one, send it on to me and I'll give that a watch.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, we're hoping that's going to come out hopefully on Tubi soon, and I'm sure it'll hit YouTube as well with ads on. So I'll send you a link to that.
Sweet. I'll give that a
Perfect.
watch. But have you got anything else to promote before we finish up?
The only other thing I would recommend is so I've got a podcast called the Honest Filmmaker Podcast. So if anyone wants to be a filmmaker and they're interested in moving into a creative industry, on there every week I speak to filmmakers, indie filmmakers. I also speak to people who've been in the business years. So I've got one that's just come out is with John Schlag, who did worked on a lot of effects for Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, that kind of stuff. So there's lots of
Nice.
classic movies. There's one with Rob Berman who did all the SFX makeup for things like The Goonies and lots of 80s movies. Now my mind's gone blank. But yeah, if you're into films and you want to work in film, then listen to the podcast. That's the only other thing I'll direct you to.
Our first guest was a special effects master craftsman, Nick Benson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
He was our very first guest, yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. I love talking to people like that, especially people who've worked on stuff that I love. And you
A
just
blob.
hear the story. Yeah. Well, the guy, the other one, I've interviewed John, who worked on the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He was the main makeup artist who did Dave Bautista.
Nice.
And
Drax
hearing
the
those
Destroyer.
behind, yeah, Drax Destroyer, John Moore, hearing the stories, behind the scenes stories on those big Marvel films fascinates me. What goes on?
We're going through the collection now with my young fella, and we're up to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, are you? Oh,
Yeah,
cool. How, and he's enjoying them, I'm assuming?
he is. He
Yeah.
is. We're up to Guardians of the Galaxy. He's only 8, so
Yeah.
yeah. But what I'll do is I'll finish this up here now, and hopefully we'll have you back on in the near future, and we'll have another chat. But for what we'll do now, folks, is I'll finish this the way I finish every single Friday night. In the words of the great George A. Romero, ladies and gentlemen, stay scared.